Jesus of Nazareth stands as a figure whose impact on the world surpasses that of any other individual in human history. Nonetheless, in our contemporary era, skepticism often shrouds the belief that Jesus, a man from Nazareth, accomplished what has been chronicled for over 2,000 years. However, Christianity distinguishes itself among the world's religions due to its unwavering reliance on the historical existence of Jesus Christ. Man, Myth, Messiah by Broocks shares that historical evidence while addressing a common modern-day question: did Jesus really say and do all the remarkable things attributed to him over 2,000 years ago? He starts with introducing a set of 5 key historical facts that form the foundation of Jesus' life and resurrection. These facts are an attempt to provide a solid basis for understanding the authenticity of the Christian faith. Fact number 1 is the crucifixion by Roman authorities. The book begins by emphasizing that Jesus' crucifixion under the Roman authorities is a well-documented historical fact. Crucifixion was a form of execution reserved for serious criminals, and Jesus endured this brutal punishment. Broocks argues that there's no reasonable dispute about this event. The second fact is the empty tomb and lack of an alternate burial site. After Jesus' crucifixion, his followers discovered that his burial site was vacant. Even those who opposed Jesus, both Jewish and Roman authorities, failed to produce an alternate burial site containing his body. This enigma surrounding the empty tomb adds depth to the narrative. The third fact was the belief in physical appearances. Broocks highlights the conviction of Jesus' disciples that they had seen him alive after his death. These were not mere ghostly visions, but encounters with Jesus in the flesh. This belief is crucial because it explains the dramatic transformation of the disciples from fearful and uneducated individuals into bold and wise preachers of the gospel. Fact number 4 is the early proclamation of resurrection. The rapid spread of the news of Jesus' resurrection is another piece of the puzzle. Broocks emphasizes that this proclamation began just days after the event, not years or decades later. The immediacy of this proclamation is a significant piece of evidence. And fact number 5 is Saul's conversion to Paul. The conversion of Saul of Tarsus, a former persecutor of Christians who became a powerful Christian evangelist and writer named Paul, is presented as a key testimony to the resurrection. Paul claimed that his conversion resulted from a direct encounter with the risen Jesus on the road to Damascus. Broocks delves into the nature of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, describing them as historical biographies. These writings, he explains, follow a common literary form of Roman and Greek culture from 2,000 years ago. They narrate episodes from the life of their subject while emphasizing moral lessons and teachings. The authors of the Gospels, according to Broocks, were either direct companions of Jesus or, in the case of Mark, relied on the memories of the Apostle Peter. Importantly, these gospel accounts were written within 20 to 50 years of Jesus' death and resurrection, providing a relatively close historical perspective. To address doubts about the authenticity of the Gospels, Broocks points to the sheer volume of ancient manuscripts and fragments containing portions of the Gospels. This wealth of textual and historical evidence, he argues, firmly supports the accuracy and authenticity of the Gospels. Broocks introduces an intriguing approach to discerning truth, the truth test. He suggests that if you can prove something false, then it can't be true. The resurrection of Jesus, he argues, is the only belief in any religion that can withstand this test. He contrasts this with other faiths that rely on different approaches to validate their beliefs, such as Islam's emphasis on the beauty of the Quran, or Buddhism's focus on a particular way of thinking and living. In contrast, Christianity invites people to follow a person, Jesus, and encourages them to examine historical facts to believe in his identity and message. Historical facts are the backbone of belief. Those 5 facts that Broocks emphasizes are not solely the beliefs of Christians, but are widely accepted by reputable scholars, whether or not they are believers in Christianity. But what about other theories that skeptics have come forward with? Broocks does address some of them. For example, he counters the hallucination theory, which suggests shared hallucinations, by explaining that modern science discredits simultaneous group hallucinations. He also dismisses theories that claim the stories about Jesus were made-up myths or that he didn't die on the cross. Broocks argues that these ideas run contrary to the historical evidence supporting the acceptance of these stories. The book tackles the claims that Jesus is a mythological figure by examining supposed parallels with earlier mythological Messiah figures. Broocks dismantles these claims by scrutinizing figures like Krishna, Mithras, and Osiris, highlighting key differences between their stories and Jesus's. Broocks emphasizes that Christianity originates solely from Judaism and did not borrow from pagan religions. He argues that the idea of Jesus as a myth created by his followers ignores the historical evidence supporting his existence and the events of his life. Broocks acknowledges the challenge Christians face when others fail to see a significant difference between Christian and non-Christian lives. He stresses that making a genuine impact on the world requires Christians to live out their faith, surrender their lives to Jesus, make good choices, and actively combat evil. What I take away from Man, Myth, Messiah is that there is a wealth of historical evidence that corroborates Jesus' existence. It also corroborates his crucifixion and resurrection, setting Christianity apart as a faith firmly grounded in history. Individuals can explore these facts and evidence, enabling them to make informed decisions regarding Jesus' claims. If this story of Jesus is so incredible to the Christian faith, then these historical facts should be embraced and shared with those that are doubting this narrative. Who knows how many bridges can be built to a deeper discussion?